On April 1912, the Grand White Star liner Titanic left Southampton, England, on its maiden voyage to New York City. After a stately stop in Cherbourg, France, and another in Queenstown, now called Cove, Ireland, she steamed into the open Atlantic amid great fanfare. Passengers admired her sweeping staircases, ornate dining rooms, and the bold claim that she was practically unsinkable. The mood on board was one of excitement and confidence as the ship raced west at full speed. Late on April 14th, just 4 days into the crossing, lookouts high in the crow's nest spotted an iceberg dead ahead. They rang the warning bell and called the bridge. The officer ordered, hard A starboard and full reverse. Despite that rapid maneuver, Titanic's steel side scraped along the iceberg, tearing open several hull plates. Within minutes, icy water began flooding the forward compartments. As the bow took on water, officers and crew sprang into action. Lifeboats were lowered one by one into the pitch-black sea, and more than 700 passengers climbed inside, wearing only their coats against the chill. Far below, the ship's lights were growing dim as power began to fail. The temperature was just above freezing, and an eerie silence fell between the faint creaks of the straining hull. 58 nautical miles away, the Cunard liner Carpathia was steaming northeast from New York toward Fiume, now Rijeka in Croatia. On deck, sailors felt a sharp wind and saw icebergs drifting through the starlit sea. In the wireless room around midnight, an urgent SOS crackled over the radio. CQD Titanic. We're sinking. Come at once. Captain Arthur Rostron read the distress call and wasted no time. He ordered Carpathia to turn south and race toward Titanic at maximum speed, about 17 knots, even though ice fields and a snowstorm lay in the way. To feed more steam to the engines, he shut off heat and hot water in the passenger cabins. Below deck, the boilers roared as engineers pushed the machinery beyond its usual limits. On deck, lookouts held lanterns against the wind and scanned the swirling darkness for lifeboats. Every time a small light appeared, crewmen steadied ropes and tossed extra blankets down to the boats. As Carpathia closed the distance, the captain slowed the engines to avoid smashing the fragile craft against the ship's steel side. Finally, around 4 in the morning, the first survivors began climbing up the ladders. By dawn, 705 men, women, and children were safely aboard Carpathia, cold, shaken, but unharmed. Doctors and nurses wrapped them in blankets and handed out hot soup and tea. Some passengers huddled in shock, while others wept tears of relief as the storm winds continued to howl overhead. Over the next 2 days, Carpathia carried the survivors into New York Harbor, arriving on April 18th to a tumult of cheers, flowers, and tearful reunions. Newspapers around the world hailed Captain Rostron and his crew as heroes. Governments awarded medals, and Congress passed resolutions praising their bravery. In the wake of the disaster, international maritime law was overhauled. The 1914 Safety of Life at Sea Treaty required enough lifeboats for every passenger and round-the-clock ice patrols in the North Atlantic. These reforms ensure that no ship again sails without the basic protections that saved those 705 lives. The moral of the story is when danger strikes, swift decisions and selfless action can transform tragedy into a testament of human compassion and resolve. Even in the darkest storms, courage and care light the way to safety. Subscribe for more.